Good evening and welcome to Duck TV News. I'm Ashana Maloku.
And I'm Jasmine McKinley. Here are tonight's top stories. In the past week, students received an email from the U of O President Michael Schill about a possible tuition increase for students. According to Schill, there'll be a 10.6% raise in tuition for in-state students and a 3% raise for out-of-state students. This increase will amount to $945 per year, according to Schill. Only 4 other states in the nation provide less funding per student for higher education than Oregon. Scholarships like Pathway Oregon are still available for resident students who are in need of financial aid. To address the increase, the ASU executive team invites students to lobby at the state capitol March 9th.
The ASU executive team is not the only one discussing free speech. Last Friday, Professor Geoffrey R. Stone discussed free speech on campus in a lecture held in the Knight Law Center. In his address, he explored the balance between an institution's commitment to free speech with the equal need to nurture a community that values mutual respect. He focused on the relationship between free speech and education, which ethics professor Tom Bivens argues is no place for censorship.
The recourse for bad speech is more speech, good speech, and not suppression.
Stone's address provided a hopeful vision for a campus where free speech doesn't have to compromise respect. This discussion is significant following the recent incidents on campus, such as the controversy regarding Professor Nancy Schertz.
Taylor's Bar is checking student ID cards to create a higher surcharge for student drinkers. The rise in price is intended to decrease student crowds.
While getting into local bars may be getting more difficult, getting local substances just got a whole lot easier. The state of Oregon is rolling out another first in the recreational marijuana industry. Sienna DeRoma tells us how dispensaries around Eugene will start delivering to your home.
Oregon legislature has approved a new set of rules allowing marijuana home delivery services to 117 retailers in Oregon. Frequent Vibrations is a local business that is one of the first to start home deliveries. This dispensary is located on Oak Street in Eugene. Just last week, they began a new delivery service to the community. The same restrictions as to in-store purchases apply to deliveries, meaning no more than $100 worth of product. All of the deliveries are made by the 2 owners of the dispensary, and orders are placed on their website. Owner Jack Peterson expresses his enthusiasm about the new service.
With delivery, we're really excited about that because now we're able to bring our experience to your front door.
Since the deliveries are still so new, few customers have taken advantage of the service. Peterson believes that with more publicity, more business will come.
Word gets out more. I think people will become more comfortable in ordering it.
For Duck TV News, I'm Sienna DeRoma.
Thanks, Sienna. For now, Frequent Vibrations is the only dispensary in Eugene offering deliveries. And now we take it to Emma and Taya for this week's sports broadcast.
Allow me to reintroduce the show. I'm Emma Childs.
Welcome to Duck TV Sports. I'm Taya Bowling.
With spring approaching, we're taking on a new season of sports.
Don't get too ahead of yourself, Emma. Winter isn't quite over. We'll also take a look at basketball as they approach the final buzzer.
Oregon men's basketball team is currently down in the Bay Area looking to keep up its blistering offensive pace against California and Stanford. The Ducks finished its last home games of the season, beating Utah 79-61. Oregon came back for revenge last Saturday against Colorado, putting up 101 points. This is the first time the team has scored over 100 points in conference play since 2002. With this win, Oregon extended its historic home winning streak to 42.
The Oregon women's basketball team will host the California Golden Bears and the Stanford Cardinal for the last 2 home games of the season. They will take on the California Golden Bears on Friday along with the Stanford Cardinal on Sunday. The Ducks defeated the Utah Utes 73-61 on Friday, but like the men's team earlier in the season, the Colorado Buffaloes ended the women's winning streak on Sunday, losing 76-66. With the regular season coming to an end, the Ducks are ranked 5th in the conference. The team is unlikely to move up in the Pac-12 standings as they are 2 games behind 4 top 20 ranked teams.
Baseball season is here. They started off their season on a low note, losing their first series against Fresno State. The Ducks head back to California to play in the Tony Gwynn Classic, and they will play UC Irvine Friday, followed by either Notre Dame or San Diego. Oregon will stay in California to play the University of San Diego on Monday after the Tony Gwynn Classic ends. After the team's weekend trip to Southern California, they will return here to Eugene for their first home series of the year against Mississippi State.
Oregon softball will be heading down to warmer weather for the Rainbow Wahine Classic in Honolulu, Hawaii. The Ducks will take on the Montana Grizzlies, Hawaii Rainbow Warriors, and UNLV Runnin' Rebels. The team is coming off an undefeated stretch at the Mary Nutter Classic, in which they ruled Illinois 11-0 in 5 innings. Against Montana, Hawaii, and UNLV, the team will need senior shortstop Nikki Udria to continue her recent domination at the plate, leading the team in hits and home runs.
Oregon track and field's indoor season may be winding down, but they are not slowing down. The Ducks come off competing in 2 meets simultaneously, the Husky Classic in Seattle and the Don Kirby Elite Invitational in Albuquerque. The Ducks will head back to Eugene with 21 personal bests, highlighted by sprinter Hannah Cunliffe's collegiate record in the 60 meters with a time of 7.07 seconds. She now leads the NCAA and the world with the fastest time in 2017. Track and field looks to keep its dominance in the Mountain Pacific Indoor Championships back up in Seattle this Friday.
Speaking of championships, the acrobatics and tumbling team is coming off their 2nd straight finish as the national champion runner-up. On Saturday, the Ducks will welcome back-to-back champion Baylor, looking to beat the Bears for the first time since the 2014 NCATA semifinals. Stacy Cumming explores the differences between gymnastics and acro and tumbling.
While many compare it to gymnastics and cheerleading, acrobatics and tumbling goes far beyond either of these sports. All 3 similarly perform extraordinary feats of balance, strength, and agility, but acro and tumbling is in a category of its own. While it incorporates the stunting from cheer and the tumbling from gymnastics, you will not find any uneven bars or balance beams in acrobatics. No need for equipment, they use each other. Acro and tumbling got its start competitively in 2011 and has been gaining more recognition recently, working toward becoming a fully sanctioned NCAA championship sport in the near future. Although the season runs from February to April, the commitment is year-round when it comes to the players' nutrition and workouts.
If it's preseason and we're coming and we're just knocking it all out, they're hard. We're lifting heavy, we're working up towards maxing, and we're doing hard runs full of stadiums and stairs and long runs. And then during season, it kind of tapers off a little bit, and we get a little bit lighter, try and maintain.
Many of the members of the No. 2 University of Oregon acrobatics and tumbling team got their start early through competitive cheerleading or gymnastics, bringing many specialties to the team, such as technique, tumbling, tosses, pyramids, and more. These aspects are defining what it means to be on the acro team, specifically at the university.
So there's kind of different specialties, but also it's becoming so cohesive now, both the 2 sports, and as acro develops, it's really becoming both combined.
For Duck TV Sports, I'm Stacy Cumming.
Thank you, Stacy. The Oregon women's lacrosse team began their season at home with 2 wins and a loss. They finished a 4-game homestand with the win over the California Golden Bears this past Sunday. And they head down to Fresno to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs this weekend.
Oregon men's tennis is hoping to bounce back this week and defeat the BYU Cougars and the Drake University Bulldogs at home in Eugene. The team defeated the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders on Friday, but was unable to maintain the winning streak against the Minnesota Golden Gophers on Sunday.
The women's tennis team will take on the UC Santa Barbara Gauchos on Friday and the Houston Cougars on Sunday here in Eugene. The team took 2 L's last week in Texas, losing to both the Baylor Bears and the TCU Horned Frogs. The Ducks are now 3-7 in their 2017 campaign. They will look to bounce back at home later this week. Now we send it over to Riley Collin, who previews baseball in this week's Triple Threat.
Thanks, Emma. With the basketball season coming to an end, all eyes will shift to the diamond for spring. The Oregon baseball team was picked to finish 6th in the Pac-12 media preseason polls. In this week's Triple Threat, we will introduce 3 key players that need to keep up their game for the team to succeed. Season began this weekend in Fresno, California. With most important part of any dominant baseball team is the man on the mound. So let's start with sophomore pitcher Cole Stringer. Last season, Stringer played 15 games as a freshman and started 3. He went 2-2, including an impressive win against the Oregon State Beavers. Last season, Stringer excelled as a reliever for the Ducks, but this season, he'll be a starter with its own unique challenges. Moving on to the receiving end of Stringer's pitches, we have junior catcher Tim Susnara. Susnara appeared in all 55 games last season, starting 41 beyond home plate and 11 at first base. He was one of the most consistent batters for the Ducks last season, leading the team with 13 multi-hit games. While Susnara may be consistent at the plate, the Ducks' best bat belongs to redshirt senior outfielder Jake Bennett. Last season, Bennett was named All Pac-12 Honorable Mention. He held the team's highest batting average at .312, along with the team's highest on-base percentage at .419. Bennett will need to keep his fiery swing alive in order for the Ducks to finish higher than 6th in the Pac-12. That's all for this week's Triple Threat. Back to you ladies at the desk.
Thanks, Riley. She really hit that one out of the park.
Yeah, definitely. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for all the latest news on Oregon sports.
Well, we are just 1 week closer to spring, and that's it for this week's episode. I'm Emma Childs.
And I'm Taya Bowling. Now back to Jasmine for news.
Thanks, Taya. On Saturday, Eugene families attended the Living Lab Day at the Science Factory. Researchers, along with the University of Oregon's Team Duckling, showed kids of all ages how scientific process works. The kids got to participate and learn about local psychology and brain development research.
Scientists are doing really important work, and that they can be a scientist as well and join in the overall search for knowledge.
The event was filled with activities that encourage hands-on learning and participation. This has provided families to enjoy local research and meet scientists. The Science Factory offers many hands-on learning experiences throughout the term.
A new business here in Eugene is gaining quite the buzz. Core Nutrition, a healthy smoothie and tea shop, opened up on East Broadway last week. The store provides a large variety of healthy shakes and teas for customers to select from. The store is one of the few nutrition stores here in Eugene and is already gaining a relative amount of positive feedback.
In other news, owning a pet in college is not easy while managing school, work, and extracurricular activities. Bailey Mulder has a story of a few pet owners on campus balancing all of their responsibilities.
Whenever many students see an animal on campus, their heart rate rises and they get sentimental about their pets back home. Owning a pet in college can seem intimidating, but many students, like Melinda Grisham, say their pets help them be better students.
It's definitely been something that helps drive me because, I want to get through school so that I can give them a good life.
Although having an animal in college can be stressful, a lot of students use it as a stress reliever. Sarah Corns' dog, Cuddy, is an emotional support animal. Sarah likes to come home from a long, stressful day of classes knowing that Cuddy is waiting for her at home.
I just like having that reassurance that, I have something to come home to and something that loves me unconditionally.
While owning a pet is rewarding for many, it is a large financial responsibility and time commitment. Pets require playtime, walks, and money for food and vet care. Claire Alexander says at times it's hard to balance the responsibilities of school and a pet, but she says it's worth it.
Running home between chapter and classes to walk him and make sure he's fed and all that stuff. It's not the easiest thing, but I think it's worth it, so.
For Duck TV News, I'm Bailey Mulder.
The puppy that was found at the Uncommon Apartments is now happy and healthy and in a new home.
Even if you can't have your own pet in college, Green Hill Humane Society can help you hang out with furry friends. Green Hill is currently in high need of volunteers for their new running dog program. Volunteers need to be able to run at least 3 miles at a time and be available for at least 2 hours a week. The running will take place on Green Hill's property through its multiple trails and acres of land. Runners with previous experience with dogs over 60 pounds are preferred, but Green Hill will provide dog walker training as well. For more information, contact their volunteering department at volunteer@greenhill.org. Thank you for joining us tonight on Duck TV News. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube at Oregon Duck TV. I'm Ashana Maloku.
And I'm Jasmine McKinley. Have a great night.